a monumental moment in the show. Big announcement. I'm going to turn the floor over to Dan Rapaport, and you can say your piece, Mr. Rapaport.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Fore-play, presented by Barstool Sports. Big show. We have a huge announcement coming on this show. We're going to get to that in a second. A few quick reminders before we do get to that. Then we got President's Cup stuff to get to. We got From the Guy we get closest to. So we got a whole show. But a couple videos coming out. It's kind of competition week, it feels like, on the Fore-play channel. So we've got Frankie and Francis, Sutton Bay, heated match. Just the end of a trip. Yeah, people have been together for probably too long, very close in skill, battling all week. And then we've got the second episode of the Hater series, which, once again, you've seen all the people that shit on my golf game, hate on my golf game. So we say, prove it, show up, let's do a match, let's play straight up, and let's see who wins. That comes out on Friday. And then President's Cup merchandise. We're rocking quite a bit of it, but P-Cup is out. It's online for Canadian and for American purchasers. So we've got a link for Canadians. If you buy it, I believe by September 10th, we're kind of guaranteeing that you will get it in time for the President's Cup, which we're going to be at up in Montreal, Royal Montreal. The gear is phenomenal. It came out amazingly. It's got this little stuff on the sleeve. It's got different stuff on the chest, President's Cup logo there. Some old school vintage looks of just like President's Cup, Royal Montreal hats, polos.
Everything's comfy too.
T-shirts.
We really
hoodies,
went like
polos.
oversized. Like things are oversized. They're comfy. We're really finding our groove here. It's something that you can wear for a long time. It's not going to shrink. It's not going to feel tight. Like all of this stuff is really, really, really like falling into form now. You know what I'm saying? Like we're really finding our groove in terms of merchandise.
Yep.
And it's not like it's getting that much more expensive. It's just better stuff. It's just way better stuff. This hoodie that I have in front of me with the no strings coming out of the hood, like this is new school hoodie. And look how comfy this is, man. Like your wife could wear it, you could wear it. It's an amazing, amazing hoodie. And for anyone that knows, like the wives, they grab the hoodies, man. Like they love grabbing hoodies. You need something like this right here. I won't be wearing this very often because she's just going to be wearing this 24/7. Like that print right across the chest. It's really good stuff. So shout out to our merchandise team. President's Cup stuff is all available. I'm assuming by the time this came out, this hat's probably gone. I'm sure Riggs's hat's probably gone. I'm sure that hoodie's probably gone. We have a lot of stuff that will be gone within seconds, I think. This hat in particular, gone. So just enjoy it on my head.
Check out those links. Hopefully everything's not gone so that you can still buy stuff because we're talking about it right now. But regardless, there's a lot of great options. We partnered with the President's Cup, which is very, very cool for us. International competition, team competition. We love it. We're President's Cup guys. We've been to the last two of them, as we mentioned. So it's very cool for us to have the gear. Check it out. Check out the links on social and get your gear. Get ready to rock. Royal Montreal will be up there. This episode is presented by Chevy. Get the crew together. Head off to the course in the new 2024 Chevy Traverse. Look, we talk about these big vehicles, impressive cargo room, 3-row seating, all that stuff. They got space. They know you can pile golf bag after golf bag and golf shoes, extra clubs, all kinds of fun stuff in the Chevy Traverse. You can put your kids in there, whole family. They got 3 rows of seating. But what you might not know is they are the best in class when it comes to the tech game. They're elevating the tech game. They got the 17.7-inch diagonal color touchscreen, AutoSense power liftgate. It's phenomenal. It's huge, and it's all in on the technology.
Yeah, these things they're just modern machines. They are heading into the future. Chevy's always the tip of the spear when it comes to this type of stuff. They're on the cutting edge. They know what they're doing. Yeah, and along with all the cargo space, you can be the guy that people call when they got to move stuff around. Like you said, pick up all your buddies to go golfing. It's the whole package. That's what I would say. This vehicle that they make is the whole package.
Go to Chevy.com/Traverse. I just did it. I'm on my browser right now. You won't believe how sexy this thing looks. This is just a machine. This is everything humanity is capable of. American. It looks great. This right when you go to that link, it's on this like rocky part of this mountain with pine trees behind it, and it's just glowing how awesome this vehicle is. So go check that link out, Chevy.com Chevrolet.com/Traverse. Build your own. Learn more about it. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. All right, now we'll get to a monumental moment in the show. Big announcement. I'm going to turn the floor over to Dan Rapaport, and you can say your piece, Mr. Rapaport.
Yeah, I appreciate it. This is going to be my last show as a member of the fore-play podcast. I know that sounds a little sudden, but there's no good way to sort of hint at these things. And basically, my contract ran out at the end of the PGA Tour season. So I wanted to kind of work through that, but just been thinking about, my future and the future of the brand. And I have zero negative emotions toward fore-play or Barstool or any of the three beautiful faces I'm looking at, or the one very ugly gravy-ridden face that I'm not looking at.
So much gravy.
It's so much gravy, dude.
Gravy train.
I've had an incredible 2 years. This experience has been amazing for me on a personal level, a professional level. The opportunity, the platform that you guys gave me, I couldn't have asked for anything more. I just think the company's a little bit different than when I joined. I think I'm a little bit different than when I joined. I think, I've already spoken to everyone, basically. I spoke to Riggs, I spoke to Frankie, I spoke to Trent, I spoke to Gravy Train. And what I explained to them was like, when I joined, it was Erica and it was Penn, and the company was growing, and there were all these, we were doing the Corn Ferry event, and we were doing this, we were doing that, and it just was, there was a different, maybe we were going to compete with the ESPNs, and it was just going to be this sort of, it was a different vibe. And then when I saw Jake Marsh from Pardon My Take resign or announce that he was leaving, whatever you want to call it, a couple months ago, it really kind of struck a note with me. And he said, there's nothing negative about this. I kind of want to go and forge my own path and kind of chase my dreams. And that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, I don't really know what's next. I'm going to take definitely a few weeks and kind of figure it out. But yeah, I'm not going to be renewing my contract. We've already filmed a few things in the last couple of weeks, because like I said, I just kind of wanted to work right through the end. So I think we've got a video of me playing Trotty that will come out, and a video that I was really, really excited about. Still am really excited about, where we went down to Auburn, the reigning national champions, and kind of showed off their facility and played with 3 All-Americans down there. So that'll be coming out. Might be a social video or 2 that we've already had in the can, but today is the beginning of, I guess, the end. And so it's definitely a little sad. I mean, I was texting Bush and Brendan yesterday, like, had a lot of really good memories with all these guys. And, when you do this job, you find yourself in some random airports at some random hours, and there's definitely a bonding that happens in those kind of experiences. So, it's a small industry, so I'm sure I'll see everybody around a lot. And, I'm not dying or anything, so it's sad, but I really don't have any sort of negative emotions toward any of you guys. I think I'm really proud of the work that we've done over the last 2 years. Tried to bring it every day, bring something new to the brand, but sometimes things just run their course, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's definitely sad. It's definitely a loss. I will say, talking to you yesterday, Dan, it was definitely surprising. But also with Spidey senses and kind of looking back over the last couple of months and the direction of the company, like you said, I'd be lying if I said it was completely shocking. I think it was absolutely an experiment. It was something crazy different that we did. And I thought you did it incredibly well. I was kind of going through this morning, and I was looking at the rap reports live from the media center and from events. That's something that we just don't do, that we were able to do. Sponsors loved your stuff, so you made us money, right? Like you were able to truly like bring revenue into this operation. Speed golf is awesome. You just released a couple over the last couple of weeks, like 9 at Mine, Side Gig. The tweeting, like your tweets just go viral, whether some people get infuriated about it or not. It gets people all riled up and fired up. The good match, like we're able to contend with those guys and lost by 1 hole because you stepped up on video. We're able to hit fucking awesome shots. Netflix, being on Netflix and representing, you doing BBC commentary, Creator Classic commentary. It's like you were doing a ton of stuff, and it was great. And so that experiment, taking sort of someone who's Big J, a writer writing legitimate articles and pieces, and was it the Morgan Hoffman piece that kind of went crazy viral and all that stuff, and then evolving it into sort of trying to fit into what we do with TikTok video versions of articles kind of, and all that was, you just worked your ass off, I feel like, and really tried to do something different. Yet the whole time it clearly was an experiment. It was something different. And like you said, the company has pivoted, I would say, in the last year towards more old school Barstool. It really has. And that's because the fucking original old school Barstool guy is now at the helm again, and he owns the whole operation. And he's very much said that he doesn't ever plan on selling it. He's not even as concerned with growing it as he used to be. He really wants it to just stand at the place that he thinks it should stand in the landscape of media around the U.S. and the world. And that is clearly going in a direction of more old school Barstool, which is not what you are. And I never really got the sense that you ever really kind of felt like, your professional home was Barstool Sports. I never got that sense, and that's totally fine. That's cool. It was an awesome, in my opinion, like additive thing that we tried to bring to our operation. Like, this guy does something that's not even close to what we do. And so when I say it's kind of surprising, and it definitely was surprising news, but not like overly shocking the more that I kind of look at the whole thing, I think that's kind of how I would sum it up. And it's you become a very good buddy of mine. I think you and I have done 10 or 15 shows where the other two couldn't make it, and we really get a little bit deeper into golf talk, which I enjoyed the hell out of. We text a lot about golf over the weekend, and that won't change. I think we'll remain friends. We'll play golf together, and that hoorah, all that shit's good. But I look at it as something that you added a lot of cool stuff to our operation that we weren't doing. And yeah, I think it was a hell of an experiment. I think it threw people for an absolute loop, and I'm really glad we had you. I really am.
I think it's, if I'm a Barstool fan, which I am, and I was before, and I will continue to be, I'm happy about the direction of the company. Like, I think it's awesome that you guys are back to doing what you guys do. That's what makes Barstool. But like Jake Marsh said, like, I think we talked about this a little bit yesterday, Riggs. I think we were hurt a little bit by all of us being kind of remote, and not being in the office. And I have no delusions about, I can be a pretty hateable person online, but I think, I usually can win people over in person. Didn't really get that opportunity with a lot of people at Barstool, just never quite mixed in. But I don't view this as a failure in any sense. Like, I like, as you said, I think we produced a lot of things together that I'm really proud of. Brendan and I were kind of reminiscing yesterday of like the things that we've done that I take a lot of pride in, and I, as sort of things that I wanted to do for a really long time that I never found a place with the support or the reach, and you guys were incredible in providing that. So it's just one of those things where, it just didn't feel right moving forward, and that's okay. There's no drama. There's no,
yeah.
I like all these guys,
which is a bummer, because if we had some drama out of us too, that would be,
I want the drama.
Yeah,
I mean, we could cook something up if we wanted to.
Yeah, we could chef something up, but there's really just not much there. And like, I think I was kind of talking to Riggs also. I was like, do you think I should like tell Dave? And it was like, I don't even really know Dave. Like, that wasn't, I never came up in that world. Erica was the CEO when I joined, and Penn was, Erica hired me. It was just, it was just, it was an experiment, and it was a successful one, but doesn't mean that it needs to continue.
It is interesting when you and I talked yesterday, Dan. It was similar to what you and Riggs had talked about, where like the three of us came up in this Barstool system, and that's just all we've ever known. So when Dave bought the company back, we were thrilled. We were over the moon, because it felt like, oh, this is the world that I stepped into. And obviously, as it got bigger and got bought by Penn, and like things started to change, the core was still there, but there was something a little bit different. But then when he bought it back, it was like, oh, now we're back to the old school way of doing things. And it had to be tough because we were all in the office for years, and you get to know everybody and the whole world. And as things started to separate, probably with COVID in terms of remote versus office, we still know all those guys and girls who are in that office, and we interact with them here and there. We're friends with them. It had to be probably much tougher for you to come in, you had no office experience. And that sounds crazy, but it's like getting to know the whole world and getting to know people is very important. But I still think everything that we've done with you has been a success. Like all the things that Riggs listed were great. It's just, as we've pivoted back to what it used to be, it's just the people who came up in this Barstool system are going to be far more comfortable than someone who didn't have any experience in it. So that all of that made, when we talked yesterday, made 100% sense to me and still does.
Yeah. And like I've learned this with covering the PGA Tour. It's really pretty much impossible to build a relationship over text message or over, you have to be with people. You have to meet people. You have to spend time with people in the flesh. And I moved to California, which definitely didn't help that process.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of different factors that contributed to this, really. Like it's not one thing. It's not this happened. And so it was an overarching feeling of, I never quite, like Riggs said, it just never quite got to the place where like Barstool was where I was going to stay long term. It really comes down to that. So yeah, it's scary. It's definitely scary. You guys are a fucking behemoth, and that's going to continue. I have zero doubts about that. But sometimes you just got to do what feels right. So. Yeah, there's really not much more to it than that. I wish there was like something I could point to and say this is the reason why, because I think that would probably make it easier. Or it's like one of those breakups where like no one actually really did anything, and it's like it's almost easier if like she fucked your fucking brother-in-law or whatever,
drama,
because then you're like this girl sucks. But now it's like it wasn't quite right. But there's no like ill will or anything. So. Yeah, I'm sure there's some people on the internet who are going to be very happy. So I want you guys to have your day.
Yeah, fuck
you guys did it. No, you guys did it. No, you didn't actually do it, but you got your results. So, take a victory lap. You deserve it.
Get ready for the 3 Idiots show to return, because here it is, folks.
Yeah. We got to start grinding or researching, or maybe AI. Maybe we can hire AI. I paid for the Chat GPT 4.0, the whole deal, whatever it is, like $10 a month. So I hope maybe I could just be like, come up with a show.
Turn that into audio. We're gonna
try to do a golf show. So,
what should we do? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a shocking. When Dan called me yesterday, I didn't even know his contract was up. There's a lot of things that go into just like the shocking part of it, or surprising part of it. But yeah, like Riggs says, I mean, I'm echoing what Riggs says, where it's like you kind of saw the writing on the wall in terms of like you probably felt like you weren't part of the original crew, because you weren't, like, you didn't come up in that old school Barstool way. You were an additive asset to us. But like I said to you on the phone yesterday, you definitely brought things that I thought were great for the brand. I know we all thought were great for the brand. To the point where it's like, I felt like sometimes when you felt like you were being left out of things, whether it was like a video series or whatever, we were thinking more in the lines of like, how do we make it more fair for whatever match we're playing, or like, the old school way that got us here of like a guy that just like can't get the ball in the hole. That's kind of what got fore-play to where it is today. Like a breaking 90 series or breaking 100. People want to see the failure. They want to see the success of a guy who really can't get it done. And then if you just brought a guy who's like a +1, it's just like, well, it's like not really a video anymore. You know what I mean? He's just going to win every single match. So that we fell into that issue a lot of the times, like playing against other creators, whatever it might be. But I thought what you did, like there would be times when like, if we were like kind of butting heads over certain things of like ideas, and then like I'd come on here and talk to the guys and be like, if Dan just continues to do what he's doing on his side, he has a job for life at this brand. You know what I mean? Like he's just doing his own thing. He's Dan Rapaport. He is what he's always going to be. So I don't want it to be misconstrued as like, I feel like the way that it's been said so far is almost like when Dave bought the company back, like everything changed. Like I don't think that that's the reason at all. I mean, I feel like we're still going to be doing live events. We're still going to be doing big ideas. Like Dave Portnoy still wants us to be a very successful company. I don't think that it's like because like Erica's no longer here that like we can't have a Dan Rapaport. So I just wanted to make that clear that like there's other, like you want to go do things on your own. Like you want to like Creator Classic and the Corn Ferry Tour. Like you have aspirations to be your own thing, like not be a part of a group necessarily. Like I feel like, I mean, I don't want to be talking for you, but I don't want it to turn into like Dave Portnoy bought it back and there's no place for me anymore, because nothing really changed for our group once Dave bought it back.
Yeah, no, it's more just like I just don't really know Dave. Like I don't, and it's hard to crack into that system basically, and no, the company's still going to be mega super ambitious. It doesn't, you guys are still going to crush it, but yeah, it's more just like, this thing that you guys built is incredible and amazing, but it's yours. It's your guys' thing, and I would never be arrogant
not
to think
easy
that.
for you.
I would never be so arrogant to think that
Yeah.
it shouldn't be that way. You know, like you guys spent the better part of a decade building this thing up. But you know, at certain times, you think, okay, I kind of want to go like forge my own path a little bit. And yeah, I'm not blaming it on Dave getting the company back or anything like that. It's just an overall picture of a bunch of different factors, you know, that contributed to this overall feeling. And I'm definitely still going to do golf content in some capacity. I don't really know what it looks like. Probably a little bit more of like the broadcasting stuff that I was starting to do a little bit more of these last couple months. But yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want the message to be that like when Dave came back and there was no room for me. It wasn't that at all. It was just. I was just thinking in the last couple months about like the future, and also like you guys like this. I pay attention to obviously like the stuff that does well and the dialogue and you know, I think Frankie like nailed it. Like you know, the stuff the content with Francis and Jerry is like fucking incredible, and it's doing really well, and that's like a lot of the bread and butter. And I just I could never play that role, and I think that we all collectively made a mistake in the beginning, which was an understandable mistake.
Mhm.
that's
Understandable
on
mistake
us.
though.
That's
No,
on
it's
us.
not.
That's not on
It's
you.
not.
Yes, we
It's
did.
not.
We had contract issues and all that. I mean, lurch is just an issue in general. But it's just like we had like a lurch issue right in the beginning, and then like we're like, all right, this can't happen anymore. He wasn't showing up to anything, so we're like, we're bringing in a new guy, Dan Rapaport, an amazing addition, something we don't have. He's going to go to PGA Tour events, all the things that we have listed. You did a great job. Also, we're going to see how he fits in all these videos. Where it's almost like we're just going to throw him right into what people were used to. We did love having Lurch in all of the videos. He made those videos what they were. And all of a sudden, from a viewer standpoint, that might not even know all of the bullshit that was happening where he like wasn't showing up to any of this stuff. Like they just click on YouTube, they see Lurch up there. And then the next episode, they're like, Lurch is gone. Here's Dan Rappaport. They're like, what the fuck is this? Like, that's not fair. That wasn't fair to you. That wasn't fair to anyone. It wasn't fair to Lurch. It's like, it's just that sucked. Like for like 2 months of putting out content, and then we filmed like 8 videos in that first trip. So it was like 3 months worth of content hitting people, them being like, I don't like this change. This change stinks. Not because of you. We could have fucking put anyone in there and they would have been like, this fucking sucks the way you guys did this. So that's on us. That was a complete bullshit botch job on our part, because it should have always been, this is Dan Rapaport's role. This is what he's going to try and build. Like, even towards the end of your Barstool life here, you just came up with a new series going to different colleges and stuff. Like, if we would have done all that stuff from the beginning, I think everything would have been more comfortable. I think everything would have been just an easier ease into it. It's like, here's this new thing. If you want to check it out, you can check it out. If not, you don't have to. We already have our stuff over here. This is Dan. So that part I will apologize for. And we just didn't know. We didn't know what we were doing. We've never done anything like that.
We
were all excited. It's like, you know, we were all pumped up, and it took us a little time to find our footing, but you're going to be unbelievably successful regardless of where you go, because you're just you work hard, and you did that before. Anyone that made a name for themselves at a place that's not Barstool, in my eyes, like in this world, that's really impressive. Like, that scares me to be able to, like, I wouldn't be able to. I'd be working at a pizza shop. Like, so like, and whenever I see someone that gets like, you know, a shit ton of followers, just like talking about something that they actually are really good at doing without having that Barstool bump and all that stuff, that's impressive. So I've always thought that was good. And it's funny when someone leaves, you probably have like the best communication that you've had over the last 2 years, right? It's like, I'm sure that happened at your last job. It happens here. It's like we haven't talked like this.
Actually, you guys
have
handled this like so much better than my last job. It's actually kind of stunning. You guys, I gained a lot of respect for you guys. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of respect, but it was reinforced yesterday that my last job, they were way bitchier when I left. So I appreciate the understanding.
I just like the way the world is going, the way the golf world's going. There's just way more spots for you to do what you want to do. I think. I don't know that you necessarily need to be tied down to anything. I mean, you could, like, you're on Netflix. You could be a fucking individual contractor showing up to a million different events. You have a million different options. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't think this is a shock. I think it's definitely surprising. Yeah, it's just because
take a live deal.
You're part of the brand.
Take a live deal.
Well, that was a
go over
rumor.
there.
That was a rumor I heard when I was in Scotland for the Open. I had heard that I had already signed with Live Golf. So
nice.
You got to keep your eyes peeled. I actually said to the guy who told me that rumor, I was like, I was like, that is a fucking electric rumor. Like, it's not true, but if you want to act like that's true and like drive up my value, like that's totally your prerogative. I'm totally fine with that.
Fuck. Yeah, and to Frankie's point there, it's like we don't talk about how things are going or like ever. Like we don't really have that. That's not really like maybe one trip or two trips a year we'll have a couple beers and like have a little sit down, or we'll stay in the Zoom chat afterwards for 40 minutes and have a little like powwow, but that doesn't really happen. And so it is, like you were saying with being detached a little bit and not in the office, it's like we can, with this Barstool world of, locker room talk, whatever, air quotes, like giving each other shit. Occasionally it pops up and somebody's making funny on a show. It's like we have the history of like we sat with those people. We did radio shows with those people. We did all kinds of, we were attempting stuff. We went and shot videos with those folks. We sat in the office and gossiped with all those folks for years and years and years. So if I see Tommy Smokes I'm the butt end of a Tommy Smokes video joke or something like that, I know it's tongue in cheek. And when I see him, we laugh because we hung out forever. It's not a big deal. Versus like, fuck me, if you don't have that connection with all of these different people and trying to be attached to that world, and being remote is fucking difficult. And I do think like it was a little in terms of just kind of like understanding it and not being shocked by the news. It's like I do think that it's me, Frankie Trent, like we'll probably have Barstool Sports written on our tombstone. That'll just be an enormous part of what our life was all about. And I don't think anybody thought that you would. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not like a negative thing. That's just the way it is. And I think it's a great point by Frankie that it's like, you do got all kinds of shit going on, the Netflix stuff. And it's clearly like you were doing that BBC commentary that I mentioned, another commentary. It's like, those are things that were not necessarily part of like deliverables for like Barstool, things that we were selling. It's like you were always kind of doing some stuff on your own that was great for you and great overall for the brand at times, but you got shit going on. That's like kind of the Dan Rapaport thing, and that's fucking great. And so yeah, I think, I know we don't have to run around in circles about the whole thing. It is big news. It's like we've only really had 5 people in the history of our whole brand that have kind of been like camera facing fucking people. So when one of them leaves, it's a big deal. It's definitely a big deal.
Yeah. And I wanted to.
There's rumors you're going to do full BBC from now on, all different types of BBC.
Just
what the rumor
BBC
is.
guy. Yeah, just big BBC
all different
guy.
Types. Yes,
I kind of prefer the live rumor over that one, to be honest with you. But
pays better for sure, and probably feels
it definitely pays. But I was really fired up, honestly, when I heard the live rumor. I was like, that's gonna drive up my value.
I would love a live rumor too,
dude. The live rumor was electric. I actually like really enjoyed it. We don't need to go in circles. But I just wanted to come on and like say, it sounds really dramatic. I'm also wearing a black shirt, like it's funeral. It is 6 a.m, so that was not a conscious choice. But it would just been weird if I'm on your screen yapping for, I'm making all these videos or talking on this podcast for, a lot of you guys listen to us every week and every episode and 3 hours a week or whatever it is, and I didn't want to just disappear without a trace. So yeah, we can get to the rest of the show. We're gonna do this one last time and enjoy it. I'm enjoying it. I've always enjoyed it. It's been a great 2 years. It's really not like, I don't feel like I have no regrets. I have no like sad. I mean, it's sad in that all, when good things come to an end, it's sad, but there's no negative feelings. I'm excited to see you guys again. And that's that.
In classic form, I'll be leaving early because I always thought that Dan would be able to take over the show. And so fun time's over after this one. If boys, like, we actually got to do the show a lot. We got to know what the hell we're talking about.
Dude. So there's got to be a way we come up with AI. And we almost should just cut the whole Dan leaving thing, and we should just get an AI Dan and just act like he's still on the show.
Breaking news, next episode, Dylan DeChair fills in for the 4th spot.
It is going to be,
but that would be an electric move on your guys' part. That would be level up.
I want you to know that if Dylan DeChair ever gets on this show, even as a guest, it's not to try and fuck you. It's just because we had nothing to talk about.
Yeah, fair enough.
It is funny. You're gonna watch people who, Dan alluded to, these people who are like, congratulations, you got me out of here. But they're gonna switch for a second. They're gonna be like, this show sucks now.
Oh
It's
my
'cause
god!
it's
It's
these
gonna drive me crazy.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Fire
that's how it
Dad's
always
gonna
goes.
turn
You
it-
give 'em-
How the fuck did you let him go?
as soon as
Oh
they
my
get
God.
quote unquote what they want, which I don't agree with because I
Oh.
agree with everything that's been said. I love Dan. Dan has been great on this show, but they'll switch for a second and be like, well, now this show is nothing and it's worthless
Yeah.
and I hate these guys. So
I'm gonna listen
everybody
to a bunch
prepare
of
for
fat
that.
idiots talk about something they're not even good at.
Oh well.
It sure is. I'm excited for to see the ridiculousness of the reaction. That's a good point. There's going to be all kinds of shit out there that's said about this whole thing.
Crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Drama.
But
Drama.
It's good. Yeah, you did a good job. 6 a.m. In your time zone.
With most of our favorite golfers finished for the year, it's time to focus on football season, baby.
Cool.
It's the perfect time to dive into the action with my partners at DraftKings, the number one place to bet on touchdowns. And right now, all new customers who bet $5 will instantly get $250 in bonus bets, plus get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium on us. Football, DraftKings, marriage made in heaven.
Oh, I mean, as much as I love betting on golf here and there, now we're getting into the real season here. College football, NFL, full slates, Saturday, Sunday, games on Thursday. Like this is when you really got to lock in and you got to get the DraftKings app. They're the best in the business. Get the app and just, browse around, take a look. You're going to find something you want to bet on. Makes the game more interesting. Get in there with some buddies, all bet on the same thing. It's just DraftKings is the way to do it. And it's just, like I said, we're getting to the time of year where it's the best and you're going to have some fun.
It's football time, baby. It's just over-unders, spreads, parlays, same game
First
parlays.
touchdown score. It's anytime touchdown score. That's the thing too, is it's not just spreads and over-unders. They've got everything. And it's so much fun
everything
to look at.
The app is great. It's so fast. It's instantaneous. They update it with the live odds. It's clean. The interface is phenomenal. DraftKings is the spot to be. So go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. New customers use our code. That is FORE. You bet just $5 on any wager. You get $250 in bonus bets. Plus, you get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium instantly. That's promo code FORE. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Yeah, as bad as the beginning was, where we fucked up bad, I think we're finally maturing.
I really think you guys are being hard on yourselves. Like, how could you possibly have known? It
No,
was completely
we couldn't
new.
have
Like,
known.
you
You got to be smarter.
It's our
than that.
world. It's our world, dude. Like,
Yeah.
we kind of should know that world better. And it was idiotic. And we do apologize for that because I think that kind of started you behind the 8 ball. I think you battled through that. I think you fucking, I talked to my mom yesterday who loves the show. And she was like, I really thought Dan had found his groove with a lot of the content. So I'm definitely bummed about it. But I think it's like you battled through that, that was our fault. These guys are right. We totally fucked you and sort of the perception of it. And there's really no way to counter that. Like, once that perception is out there, we could put out as many videos or talk about it on the podcast as much as we wanted to be like, no, that's not how it went down. It just kind of looked like that. And like, it
Right.
doesn't
Yeah.
fucking matter. And that was wrong. Like, we literally hired you and you wanted to come on to create a new kind of lane as part of the fore-play brand. We're trying to have weapons everywhere, try to be this cool golf, like new age conglomerate, fucking, whatever we're trying to do. And you were going to run the kind of newsy part of it, different golf nerdy part, whatever. And like, and then we kind of were like, oh, and also here's like Lurch, but it's a different person. And they were like, what
Yeah.
the fuck is that?
yeah.
And that's on us. We know this
I think
world
also
forever.
like
We should know better.
YouTube is taking like a growing importance. And that was like
And
I
it's
knew
changed. It's changed even
Yeah.
since you got on. It's changed.
Yeah, it's
Like,
changed,
I would
dude.
say if it was still that world where we could put out like a million behind the greens and like all of these like super like interesting documentaries, like if that was like the forefront of what YouTube golf was, that would be like, all right, this guy's taking this channel and running. But apparently it's something else now. It's like, it's the Jersey Jerry's. It's the stuff that you don't even feel comfortable, like you said, doing. Like, it's just not who you want to be in the golf space. It's that takes away from who you actually are. So, I mean, and we also fucked you too. And this will be the last thing. It's like, by once we once we had you on, and then there was like a bad reaction because we fucked up. Then we just like stopped putting you on, which then almost like confirmed to like the people that are wrong that like we just like thought you weren't good at doing videos. Like like we basically like hid you from our videos, which now you have your own series and all of these things, like, which is what we wanted to get to. But like just that whole idea of like, oh, we had him in 8 episodes and then we never put him in another one. That's on us too. So it's like, it just sucked. It sucked. But hopefully that's not the only reason.
But
why.
what I was
think
saying is the end is mature and we're
It's
doing
great.
it the right
It's
way.
great.
This has been
Yeah,
great.
It's great. I'm glad
It's
we cleared
been
up the
good.
Dave stuff because that was going to be on the unnamed show at 12 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. That like the only reason that he was leaving was because
No,
Erica
it's
is
definitely
no longer at the helm of this thing. It's like that.
No,
is
but I
not
just
true.
no, it's not true at all. I just when I saw with Jake Marsh, like that was probably
very
2
similar.
or 3 months ago. It's very, very similar.
Yeah.
And Jake in the same way is like, I think Jake loves Pardon My Take. I think Pardon My Take loves Jake. I think everyone just understands. And that's really what I was getting at, was like,
That's what, yes, 100%.
I vibed a lot with what Jake said.
Well, I think Dave's first tweet when Dan got hired was like, this guy is way too qualified for us. Like this guy is
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he should be. So I think
But
there's
like
some
even with the Creator Classic stuff that happened a couple weeks ago, you know, you Frankie were trying to explain to him like, oh no, like Barstool Golf, like we got like, and he was like, well no, like Dan got like is doing it, and that was just like Dave has a unique, incredible ability to just say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like no holds barred, say it, and him just being like, well, like that was Dan. Like I don't say like Barstool Golf. It wasn't like he was being a dick. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. I was just in a
I
little
see
bit
what
of
you're
a
saying.
different bucket.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
And I think the Creator Classic's a great example too of like, Dan, you could have played in that thing and finished in the top half of the field easily, and instead you were commentating, and like you were happy to commentate. And I think that also personifies a lot of sort of your approach to this whole thing and the exit. Even
A
It's
million
like,
%.
Yeah.
that's sort of the role that you like. You weren't trying to be out there, be entertaining, and be a Mac Boucher hitting a shot with a flipped around driver. And we are. That's what we're doing, right? That's sort of like what our goal is and what our dreams are, what we like to do, and whatever. And so I think that kind of showcases a lot of the difference. And yeah, so it is a big deal. I mean, like I said earlier, it's like we haven't really had that many people that have jumped in and sort of joined this crew in terms of being on camera, being in front of all the people online, all the commenters, all of everything. And so when one kind of leaves to do something different, it's a big deal in our world. So it was an awesome chapter. I thought it'd be weird if we then, like, after we talked about it, kicked you off the show. So I figured we'd do one last hurrah. We've got news in the golf world. We should talk some golf. We could do closest to one last time, and we'll do the damn thing, and then we'll have a nice weekend, and we'll see Dan and he'll see Dylan DeChair with a couple Barstool golf hats on, slinging perch, and everything will be fucking great.
You better fucking agent up right now, buddy. Get a lawyer involved because you got some money coming your way. One thing I wanted to say before we move on, Alex Bush, Brendan Jones, Jared how do you pronounce it? Is it DeLibero?
I still don't know, and I'll never know.
Nobody
He
knows.
says it's
DeLibero.
DeLibero, which is fucking
DeLibero.
absurd.
No, it's spelled
abs-
DiLibero, isn't it?
It's quite clearly DeLibero,
he's
and he's
wrong.
like quite clearly an Italian man, but I know it's not. I know that's
We're
not
not saying
right.
it that way. We're not saying it that way.
But Kyle Timms, Rob, Social Rob, you guys are fucking engine that makes this thing run. And especially the last year, as kind of I started to do my own thing, I leaned really heavily on you guys, and man, are you guys great at what you do. And I just have so much respect for how much you guys grind, and it can be a bit of a thankless job sometimes. You're in the editing lab, just grinding away for hours and hours, and then your name's not really even on the video. And it's like, for you guys to do that and to put your heart and soul into helping us succeed is really special. I've never had any sort of support like you guys have given me, so I'm so grateful to you guys behind the scenes as well.
Yeah. Wow. Alex Bush doesn't really get talked about in a positive light on this show very often. So that's the big moment.
Yeah, well,
for him.
Alex Bush and I had some trips where we went to Columbus, the two of us. We went to Denver, the two of us. We had a little bit of a little honeymoon going. So I'm gonna miss those trips for sure. You gonna say something nice now, Bush? Now's kind of the time.
Yeah,
Put
of
the gravy
course.
out of your mouth
Those
and
were
just-
so much fun. Yeah, definitely. Because we went on trips where we'd get a bunch of interviews, speed golfs, all that kind of stuff, just you and I. So those were a blast. Gonna miss you.
It is such a thankless job that like we didn't even know when you guys are on those trips. It's like I know Dan's there, but we don't know necessarily who's with him. That's how like thankless it is.
Craziest
So
one was
it's
when Brendan. I texted Brendan. He was like in California filming Dan, and I had just been with him the day before filming something, and then he was supposed to be at Eisenhower Park the day after filming a Breaking
they
85.
Brendan
and I was like, "What is happening?"
Brendan
It's
did
crazy.
2 day trips out to California. There was like one. He was
That's
here,
even
we
that's
shot
even
the
more of a
video.
look. Like when you moved out to California, obviously it's like a life choice, all that stuff. That was not a burden on the guys, but that made it way harder to include you in anything that you may have wanted to be included in, because that's a fucking trip for the boys. Like you just said, they're already doing a million things. Like Brendan would do it, though. He would never complain, but it's like that's a lot. If that went on for 10 years, I don't know if they'd be able to survive.
No, 100%. And like, and also like, I understand like how resources work. Like the videos that you and Trent do, like at Colonials, like you guys just drive to the golf course. You don't have to deal with a fucking PGA Tour player and his agent dicking you around about this sponsor, that. You guys could just go make content. And
Right.
that's, I think, what we've seen a lot, like with a lot of the other groups is like the sort of like low production value. Not even, I don't want to say low production, but low cost of like,
Yeah, it is.
you guys are
Yeah.
the personality. All of my videos were always like, it's not just going to be Dan Rapaport trying to break par. That just wasn't going to be a very good video. It was always, we had to work really hard to get Auburn involved, and we had to work, dealing with these tour players was always, so it was just harder to make content.
Yeah, totally. Speaking of that gravy train bullshit artist over there, do you mind if we do close to the pin while I'm here? Is that something we could get into? Can we get into like a nice ceremonial closest to the pin?
Let's do it.
It's a nice touch. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, let's
Dan
do
can
it.
get some points
We're
on the
not
way
in a good
out.
spot. Aaron Judge I definitely was wrong on that. I don't think he's hit a home run in months.
Oh, really?
I think I was on the low end of that.
I
A
hope
little
I
bit of
was,
news that we should get to eventually, but Eamon Lynch just reported that Rory and Scottie, did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Rory and Scottie are playing Bryson and Brooks in a made-for-TV battle. A little Live versus PGA Tour action.
There you go. They're finally starting to get it.
And how about Bryson and Brooks teaming up together? That's something.
Those guys have been buddy since they both made like $200 million.
Yeah,
true.
it's
That-
like when
that
you're
clears
both just
up
the
a
richest
lot
guys
of
ever.
grudges
Right.
there.
Now we're
Clears
just
up
rich
a lot.
guys.
Yeah.
We're just a couple rich guys hanging out. We'll play golf together too. Yeah, sure. Fucking play golf together.
That's as good of a foursome as you can ask for in the golf world.
That's got some juice.
number one.
I would say that's got some juice right now.
It's got some juice.
Like, who else would you want in there? Rory, Scottie,
Tiger, but he doesn't really. I don't know. He'd be a bit of a. They'd have to give him like 2 aside.
Oh, Dan.
Dan.
All right.
Don't go out like that, Dan. Don't.
Just a little parting shot.
Right, the little parting shot, because from here on out, we're not going to tolerate that type of Tiger talk. Okay,
No, we're not.
No.
3 of us who are remaining, it will be the opposite of that. So
You get a 1 show grace period, and then we will pounce on that kind of negativity. Guys, the dog days of summer are finally coming to an end, meaning cooler temperatures are on their way with the changing seasons fast approaching. We want to tell you about our favorite pants from Peter Millar. The signature sateen 5-pocket pant bridges the gap between casual and sophisticated, meaning you can dress them up or down with ease. I was rocking these. I got 3 new pair. They sent me this like olive green pair. I think it's called like military or something like that they call the color. I got a gray pair and I got a navy blue pair. And I know Frankie talked about it in the last show, but I wear these things on the golf course. And then I legitimately, like 2 weeks ago, I had to go to like a casual coat and tie little dinner. And I rocked the same pants that I was wearing on the golf course the day before with like a blue blazer. I wore the gray pants. They're high quality, they're performance, yet they look great with a suit coat, for Christ's sake. They're just as good as it gets.
it's as good as it gets. And I will say, this has been my summer of shorts. It's sort of my first foray into the shorts world on the golf course. And it's been great. It's been really good. But I know the weather's going to change. And I know that I'm in good hands with Peter Millar because their pants are phenomenal. Like you're saying, you can wear them on the golf course. You can wear them to a casual event. Anything you need, Peter Millar has it. They've got great shorts. They've got great pants. They've got great quarter zips. They've got great polos. They're just the brand when it comes to golf apparel. So if you haven't gotten involved with them yet, definitely try it out. But if you have tried it, you know how good it is.
It's layering season too, and just nobody does it better than Peter Millar. From the vest to the pullovers, the hoodies, the just everything they've got. The crew necks, easy to style colors in terms of the sateen 5-pocket pant with the perfect fit, sure to make the signature sateen 5-pocket pant. It's going to be a must-have for your everyday wardrobe. A must-have. Head on over to petermillar.com/foreplay. That's the link. We've got that whole link is curated with a bunch of our favorites, including these pants. So head to petermillar.com/foreplay. Check out the rest of Peter Millar's lineup. That is petermillar.com/foreplay.
Alex Bush.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wow.
Let's do it.
We couldn't present your face to say bye to Dan, huh? And it does it now. All right.
There he is.
All right. So
Jesus.
last week we had player with the lowest round at Tour Champ. This is going to be 0 points. Russell Henley shot 62, lowest round.
Whoa.
None of us.
That guy is the most business casual check casher. He made about $10 million this year.
Oh my God.
Didn't win anything, but was just there every single week. Probably like just a silent assassin out there.
Wow. All right. 0
Okay.
points.
The second was total eagles in the field. This week we had 11. I had 11. So 2 points
Good
for
for
me.
It was a pitch and putt, but good call.
Yeah, it was huge.
It was.
Okay.
It was an unexpected pitch and putt.
Season total home runs by Aaron Judge by Monday. I don't think he hit a single one. So 51. I believe that's what he was at before. Dan was closest with 52.
That feels like the curse continues because that guy
Yeah, that's the curse right there.
has been
The curse is
fuego.
alive and well. It cannot be the great Dan Bino curse. Can we get the great
I was
Dan Bino?
gonna
That's-
say it might if it gets lifted after this. Good riddance, buddy. Like now we've got
curse is going to be done now that Dan's
closest
gone.
to is back.
And then
Man.
last was combined points by Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Fever vs. Sky. Riggs got it spot on 41.
Oh,
Right on. I think it was 31 and 10.
dude.
But yeah.
I'm sure you guys have all seen it. We've talked a lot about Dave on the show, actually. But that fever bet that he has for them to win the title is,
They're money now, right?
dude, he $100,000 to win $10 million. DraftKings,
Oh.
shout out. Have you seen this?
No.
Dude,
10
he bet-
million?
a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago, he
dude.
bet $100,000.
100 to 1.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. We can double check, but I'm almost positive. $100,000 to win $10 million, and now it was. So they went on this All-Star break where Caitlin took the first vacation in 5 years. Basically, she was at Iowa forever, tearing it up. They went to back-to-back national championships games, and then she jumped right into the WNBA, and now they're on a run. So she took a vacation, came back, and now they're just winning games. That they're trying to already pay him out like $250,000 on that bet. They're 18 to 1 now to win the title.
God.
They might win it.
That's a big problem for DraftKings Sportsbook, our great
Yes.
friends. That's a big problem.
Because it's crazy.
I nailed that one. That might be. The curse is over. As soon as we got over the last one, now the curse is over. Come on.
Wow. It's really something.
And
But
Angel Reese got like all of her 10 points in the last 2 minutes of the game.
I know. They've been doing
I
that,
saw that.
where it's like the game's kind of over and she kind of pads her stats. But
Yeah, I saw a tweet yesterday where he was like, Chicago, what are they? She's on Chicago Sky. They're like,
Yeah.
Chicago Sky are down 13. She only has 5 points. Like, she's about to eat. She goes demon mode in this tower.
I mean, now he's living and dying with every Fever game. He tweeted this morning like the Fever play tonight. That was it.
Oh, amazing.
All right, what are the
all right.
standings?
All right, so standings right now: Trent 52, Alex 46, Dan 43, Riggs 38, Frankie 35.
Oh,
Can I donate my points to
Can I
Gravy
take 'em?
Train?
No.
Yeah.
No.
no.
Okay.
I was gonna say
They're
no
not
disrespect,
transferable.
but I just
Yours
you know,
just go gray.
Do I
They're-
go off the leaderboard like DJ and career earnings, like for the PGA Tour? Like, am I just gone?
we're gonna wipe you from the books. Yeah.
Okay, that's
We're just
fine.
going to
Yeah,
read
that's
yours
cool.
every week, but it doesn't go up.
I was gonna say this
Yeah, that
is great. I
loser
mean,
Dan.
as
You
in
become
in a
last
closest
place
to the
eventually.
pin viewpoint, I'm thrilled because now third place no longer exists.
Does the chair doesn't get my
Right.
points when he joins?
He might get your
He
point.
might.
Okay.
He could inherit.
They're
yeah.
held for the chair. They're held for the chair.
We'll give him like a little salary discount, and he can inherit your points.
Yeah, there you go. I'm telling you, Dylan.
Mhm.
Lawyer up, baby.
All right, who's got him this week?
I do.
Okay.
I got him. All right. I'm grabbing him now. Okay. So, first one, football this week, NFL. A lot of these are football. Combined points from all NFL teams in week 1.
Oh my God, dude.
So, I have
Wow.
some
What the
stats. Obviously,
fuck?
16 games, 32 teams. Last year, average points were 21 for just all games. So,
Per team?
Yeah, per team.
No.
So, if you,
Yeah.
so yeah, per team. Like,
So
points per game. So
21
if you
times
average that
16,
out to like a
basically?
16 game week, it'd be like almost 700.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
How do we feel about Ray Davis? Got him in a couple drafts.
I mean, he might be getting some goal line touches, but I don't know how much he's going to be
Okay.
used.
A little stash
We'll see.
play.
I have the
Little stash
worst
play.
fantasy. I have the worst fantasy team of all time.
How'd
This
your
is the
draft
problem.
go?
This is the problem. When I do things, I go like all out, especially like events and hosting parties. Like it's something I really, really like to do. So like when someone shows up, like I remember I used to have the draft at Borelli's, and I used to turn off all the lights in the back room, and I had a U-shaped table, and every other table I took out, and I had the draft board with lights, spotlights hitting it, and then every single person in front of their draft, they had a little candle like right in front of each thing. Like their drinks were all ready. Everything was printed out with nice pens and everything. Like I at my house now, I've got the whole set. I've got a walkthrough of all the past champions, like when they're walking in, all their pictures. I photoshopped their faces on the Super Bowl winner holding up the trophy of that year that they won. It's like it's an amazing experience for these guys. And I don't have enough time to do any preparation or anything. Like even during the draft, like I'm like getting the drinks, I'm ordering pizzas, I'm getting the whole entire deal. And then like, Frank, it's your time to draft. I'm like, I don't even know who's off the board right now. And my team stinks all the time. Justin Jefferson is the worst first round pick. He has no quarterback. So it's just, I'm not going to get into it, but it's like, it sucks. My team stinks.
I've been hearing a lot about AI drafting, where you
Yeah,
put in
people
all
are
the
using that.
you put in all the information and it spits out who you should take. So maybe in the future.
It's hard to do that in person, but
Yeah.
I got Marvin Harrison Jr. and Justin Jefferson. Like no one knows how either of those guys are going to do.
Could be big though. All right.
James
All right.
Cook. Alex, how do you think about James Cook?
I
got
love James Cook. I love James Cook.
Fuck you.
It's fine. That's fine. He's going to do well. All right. Dan Rapaport, 664. Trent, 645. Frankie, 628. Riggs, 726. Alex, 699.
Damn.
Riggs looks
Damn
good
it,
there.
Alex.
I also have Kincaid Bush. I got a lot of Buffalo Bills, unfortunately.
You'll like Kincaid. He's going to get the most volume in the passing game for sure. I like him a lot.
It's time to
Okay.
promote the President's Cup merch, by the way.
Oh, baby.
10
We're
a.m.
recording
But
this
we could keep
Wednesday
going and
morning.
do it.
Yeah, keep
Post those
Keep
pictures.
rolling.
No, Texas versus Michigan Saturday. Number 3 versus number 10. Total points. So I'm looking on DK Sportsbook for the over under.
Say that again. Sorry.
It's Texas versus Michigan total points.
Ooh.
I'm
Fired
looking
up
right
about
now
this
to
game,
find the
actually.
over under. The over under right now, hashtag DK Partner, 42.5.
Wow, that's low as shit.
Texas scored 52 last week. Michigan scored 30.
I believe
Hook
the Barstool College
But
Football
also
Show
go
is going to be
blue.
at that game.
I like both
So
those teams. I think I lean more Michigan
Me too.
because I've been to big Michigan games. And
If you're in Ann Arbor, go to that Barstool College Football Show.
Mm-hmm. Get out there.
Waiting on Trent,
All right.
like always.
All right. I'm in. I'm in.
All right. Danny Rapp, 56. Frankie, 46. Riggs, 49. Alex, 52. Trent, 48.
Let's get some
Trapped
points
by
on the board, my friend. Let's
I'm
get some,
trapped
let's
by
get some
Riggs and
fight
Frankie.
songs playing.
Trapped.
All right. This is going to be a tricky one here. Number of posts from the NFL Twitter account, including Taylor Swift and or Travis Kelce this week. They play on Thursday. She's probably going to be at the game. So number of tweets from the NFL account. They already put her twice in their hype
About-
video.
How do you feel about him in fantasy this year, or just in general, Bush? Because I feel like he has like
I
a
love him.
lot to prove, sort of thing. Or it's like, but also he's kind of a movie star now.
Yeah, but I mean, he should
a
be
football
very
guy.
reliable.
Timeout. Are we? It's posts about those two.
And or so if like Taylor doesn't go to the game, we're
Say it again.
gonna have to go to Kelsey post. But post with Taylor and or Travis by the NFL this week.
Okay.
On Twitter. Holy shit, Trent.
What?
Hold on.
Really read
I haven't seen
Trent's
it yet.
last because it's incredible.
I'm in. I'm trying to get my tweet out too.
Frankie 5, Dan 8, Trent 4. Wait, I read your wrong one. That's why I thought you said 48, but that was from the last question.
What the fuck did I do?
I was like,
that
what?
would've been
48.
great. Trotty guess.
Trent 4, Alex, what did I say? 12, Rig 6. And then the last one, combined passing and rushing yards for Joshua Patrick Allen versus the Cardinals on Sunday.
Combined passing and rushing.
Yep. He averaged about 260 last year, or no, 290 last year combined.
I just think I almost picked them in my Survivor League, but I just think they're going to maybe lose, I think they might lose that game. There's an opportunity.
There are times where they struggle in the opener because they're rusty. We'll see.
And then in the playoffs.
We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, the closer.
Frank, you don't know what
closer
playoffs are.
I've got 2 Buffalo Bills in my starting fantasy roster, so
I mean, Kincaid's going to be electric this year.
hopefully they lose every game like 60-61.
Did you know the Jets-Bills Monday night game is when we go to Hawaii?
Oh my God.
Ooh.
Hawaii?
Hawaii. All right. Danny Rapp, 296. Trent, 294. Riggs, 261. Frankie, 310. Alex, 312.
God damn it.
Damn.
And that's it.
That's it.
I'm missing Monday Night Football. Hopefully fucking Aaron Rodgers plays more than 4 fucking plays. We're going to be flying out from Nashville to PGA Frisco we're going to.
Yeah.
Damn.
You probably have it on the computer or on the
Hopefully have it on the plane.
some sort of device.
Hopefully have it on the plane. Hopefully it's a nice plane. Good plane.
Always hoping for a good
Love
plane.
a nice plane. All right.
Always hope for a good plane.
All right.
Well, fellas, I'm going to duck out of here. Dan, it was nice knowing you. You lived a great
It's
life.
been real, Frank.
You lived
It's been real.
You lived a great life. Great family, good son, a good husband. You're dead now. You're fucking
Yeah, it's
dead.
gone. I'm in a black shirt. It's a funeral.
No, it's been good, man. I mean, we talked about it a million times here. We talked it yesterday, and I wish you the best. And I know that we'll run into you a million times. It's just impossible not to. We'll see you in
We'll
the
see you
tent.
again soon, my friend.
We'll see you in the tent. Best of luck, brother.
Cheers.
Go get him, Frankie.
Boys, why
Light
are
it
you
up.
laughing, Trent? What are you
I'm
laughing
just
at?
saying. I'm just saying. Good luck to you today.
Running down I'm running down a mountain right
You're
now.
running down the
Just
hill. You're
get me
about
off
to
this
trip and
hill.
fall on a rock.
Yep.
All right.
All right. See ya, guys.
Summer is all about the freedom to have fun, but you don't need to blow your budget on a trip to make the most of it. You can forget a vacation and take a tequila-cation with the new Truly Tequila Soda. Barstool Classics all over the place. We've gotten proof. We've just gotten proof from the folks, from thousands of golfers across the United States of America throughout this year, because the new Truly Tequila Sodas have been there. They've been activated. They've been drank. They've been cracked open time and time again. People are absolutely loving them, Trent.
Yeah, I'm headed to Louisville, Kentucky tomorrow for the Barstool Classic on Friday, and then Nashville. But yeah, these really are the Barstool Classics are real testing grounds of the Truly Tequila Sodas, and they're through the roof in terms of their scoring. People love them. There's the coolers are all over the golf course. People open them up, they crack a couple, they have a good time. But yeah, you can take them to the beach, you can take them wherever. It's just the perfect summer drink, and I know summer's kind of coming to an end a little bit, and you can just finish it out with a great tequila soda from our great friends at Truly. It's a very refreshing drink.
It's a refreshing blend as well of real fruit juice from concentrate, sparkling water, premium tequila blanco, 4 great refreshing flavors: lime, pineapple, guava, grapefruit, and watermelon. They've all got 5% ABV and just 100 calories. So take a tequila-cation with the new Truly Tequila Soda today. Try Truly Tequila Soda. Keep it light. Hard Seltzer Beverage Company, Boston, Massachusetts. Please drink responsibly. President's Cup merch is out. Let's do President's Cup picks are in. Interesting. I would say about as interesting as it probably could have been because of a couple snubs, air quote snubs, but no JT and Spieth. That's probably the biggest thing. Team USA will not have Justin Thomas or Jordan Spieth. Two of them are staples, absolute staples, not just on the team, but as partners, sort of the young guys with energy, winning majors right as they started their professional careers, and then joining together in the Ryder Cup and being pretty damn electric, being phenomenal in the President's Cup 2 years ago. And neither of them are in great form or good enough form to get picked by Captain Furyk.
Yeah, it seemed like Max Homa kind of got the JT pick, where it's sort of a faith play. And I was on the call with Jim Furyk yesterday afterwards, and he said the main reason why was because of his record in these things. He was the U.S.'s best player, one of the lone bright spots in a very difficult Ryder Cup in Italy last year, and he was excellent also in Charlotte. That being said, Data Golf, which we like, we kind of use as a proxy for the world rankings, they've got him at like 86 in the world. So he really has not played well at all this year. And interestingly, like JT is playing better now than he was when he got picked last year. So Furyk went 7 through 12 in the standings. So we've talked about when he got the captaincy, it wasn't exactly an electrifying pick, and he went exactly chalk, 7 through 12. Feel a little bit for Billy Ho. Been playing good the last down the stretch, just not playing well enough. I would like to see Denny McCarthy get a shout. I just want to see that putting in a team competition, but he's got a hip issue. He's not completely healthy. So the U.S. team will enter as absolutely overwhelming, massive favorites. They've won 9 in a row. They've only ever lost one President's Cup. They've got the big advantage on paper. But yeah, I think no Dustin Thomas or no Jordan Spieth is, these guys are in the prime of their careers. They're both 31, I think, or 30 years old. And if we were talking about this in 2017 or 18 and said that those two guys at age 30, neither of them will be on the President's Cup team, you'd ask what's gone horribly wrong with their career. And it hasn't been violent. It hasn't been like a Danny Willett where the guy just falls off the face of the planet and has come back since, or like a David Duval. They've just kind of been surpassed in the game right now. They just have. And that's tough to swallow, but it's harder to win than ever out there. There's more good players.
How about Justin Thomas burying because they didn't know that his wife was pregnant right before that post?
Yeah, that was news.
That was news. I was like, he was so casual about it that I was like, should I know this already? At the bottom of his 4-paragraph Instagram post, he was like, it'll be nice to have some time off to become a dad. And it was like, whoa, but congrats to them.
Buried that. He buried that right deep in that last paragraph. I think he buried
Most
that
people
thing
probably
in
didn't
there.
even get there.
I didn't see it until I saw our account posted like, oh my God, he's going to be a dad. Because it's a scroll job. It's you kind of scan through it. You're looking for the maiden pieces. Mostly scrolled through his carousel of pictures. I wanted to see if he posted the goals for the year thing where he does the checks and the X's, which I don't think he included in that. Maybe he posted as a different Instagram, or maybe he will at some point. So I was kind of looking for that one. I was looking for the pictures. He put the funny picture kind of Sam Burns rocking the Roll Tide haircut, so he's got that stuff in there. So I was doing a scroll job. I just didn't see it. And then Social Rob posted on our Instagram. I was like, oh shit, JT's going to be a father, which is very exciting. But yeah, those two guys out. And you're right. Max Homa is somebody, I mean, hell, even we debated the hell out of it last week. I was pretty like, yeah, Max Homa's, I think he's got to be on this team, but he's been playing pretty poorly. Form matters. Golf's not linear in terms of your performance or whatnot. The international team, I thought was a little bit more interesting in like the caliber and the form of some of the guys that they left off. Cam Davis, I think, was 7th in points. Is that right? For the team?
Yeah, he was the highest ranked for sure. Yeah, that didn't get picked. And I felt for Nick Taylor too, man. It wasn't like he should have made it given his form. I just felt really bad because like that guy wanted this so bad, play at home. He won the Canadian Open last year, becomes like big in Canada, wins waste management. He's flying. He's like going to be the leader of this team. And then sometimes you maybe want something a little too much.
So that was a bummer because I obviously, we've had him on the show, like him, fiery. That moment in Canada was awesome. It was fucking crazy how cool that was. And for him to be out of it, it's a bummer. But I am getting kind of juiced up. I see a little bit on the PGA Tour announced the captain's picks. I saw a couple of comments were like, why is this even an event? And look, I get that we sit here and we talk about how nothing's ever going to compare to the Ryder Cup. But to think like you should like the President's Cup's pretty fucking sick. Like when we were in Melbourne, especially, that was one of the coolest events we've ever been to in our lives. I mean, it had Tiger Woods teaming up with Justin Thomas. Australia is a golf hotbed. It's insanely popular down there. You had the incredibly polarizing figure of Patrick Reed coming off the week before of the bunker incident at the Hero World Challenge. You had Cam Smith and Mark Leishman and these Aussies that were sick. You had Abe Answer, who played phenomenal all week and then ended up getting the matchup that he had the quotes about with Tiger. Tiger was the playing captain for the U.S. It was at Royal Melbourne, which is basically Augusta National of Australia with the Alistair McKenzie design. And the crowds were so intense and heated and fiery that fucking our boy Reed's caddy got into he punched somebody. He's fucking punching people in the crowd. Like it was awesome. The President's Cup was absolutely sick.
It's definitely an event that should exist. Like people might not like it, and it's obviously it's hard when you compare it to the Ryder Cup, but I like every time it comes around. Like think what it did for Tom Kim's career the last time around. Like you can get emerging stars from this thing, and that's kind of what you want. I in no way am I like this event shouldn't exist. I think it's a great event. It's just tough to compare it to the Ryder Cup, but still it's a great event.
Yeah, like just because Ohio State beat Michigan for like 10 straight years doesn't mean they should just like call it off, right? Like each individual thing can be really fun. I will say I wish that the live guys were playing. It'd probably be about Joaquin Neiman would be on the team, Cam Smith would be on the team, Louis Oosthuizen would be on the team, Abe Answer would probably be on the team. Those are four that just jump off the bat right away. I think it would have been a cool Dove branch for the PGA Tour to kind of let those guys in, but it's owned and operated by the PGA Tour, and rules are rules. And as we talked about at length the last show, just because something seems really evident from a fan's perspective doesn't mean the PGA Tour is going to do it.
But then we've got this match that we talked about a little bit before close to the pin. Like what's the governing body there? Like how does that even work? I'm glad that they're doing it, but
I heard a little bit of a rumor that there was last week that there was a little bit of disagreement between Rory and Jay about this. So I don't think the PGA Tour is involved. What I saw was in Eamon's report was that it's being produced by the guys who do the match, or this guy Brian Zurif, who is the producer of the match. It's his production company that's putting it on. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really sure on like the exact state of like media rights on the PGA Tour. Like Live, those guys can do whatever they want. Like they can post and do whatever they want. The PGA Tour, and this is one of the initial things that Phil was really upset about. Remember, was like he had to get approval to play in the match and like pay a fee or something. And he was like, "This
to use his billions of dollars worth of media rights too." Remember when he said that?
Yeah, exactly, 60 billion or whatever it was. Yeah. It's but yeah, I don't know. I think the players, the players have a little bit more autonomy. I think we've seen it with like guys like Akshay posting stuff about on tour, and it's just the media rights like it on YouTube. I think the media rights game is changing, and so I think I would guess this is outside the scope of the PGA Tour at all.
That's how it should be, right? Guys should be able to use their own likeness to do whatever they want. Like, they're not signing a contract with the PGA Tour. That's not how that. They're all basically independent contractors, so they should be able to use their likeness however they want.
It's an interesting one for the PGA Tour, because their rebuttal to that will be like, well, our business is like media, basically. That's where like a lot of the money comes from, and rights, and if these guys can just go play golf on their own, do we have anything like sort of proprietary besides the actual tournaments themselves? For a while, they basically owned the right. And I'm honestly not sure if what the legality is right now, but they owned the right to show those guys playing golf, which was it. You're right. It doesn't really jive with it being an independent contractor situation,
because that was an administrative hurdle we had to cover when we were filming with guys, and especially we would when we would do scrambles years ago, we would have to get a release form from the PGA Tour to technically allow them to play golf for whatever commercial reasons or on camera or whatever the stipulation was, because that's part of their agreement as members of the PGA Tour. And then we also were, I remember that in order to grant that, would ask us not to post the videos during PGA Tour coverage. So if we did if we filmed a scramble with Sam Burns, we couldn't really post it on like Thursday through Sunday is kind of what they asked us to do. So we would post it Monday through Wednesday or whatever. Now, ever since the live threat came, I think they've got bigger fish that they should be frying, and they think that they've realized that. So I don't really remember that being much of an issue over the last 2 or 3 years. But I do also remember for the match, the original one, Tiger versus Phil, do you remember it was originally marketed as a $10 million match, and they eventually played it as a $9 million match? And
I don't remember it being 10.
The reason that they did that, from what I heard, was because the FedEx Cup first place prize at the time was $10 million. And the tour was like, in order for us to grant you this waiver for you to play in this match that's outside of PGA Tour, you cannot be playing for a prize that's equal to or more than the biggest prize that we have on the PGA Tour. And so that they knocked it down from 10 to 9, because 9's a random number. Why the fuck would you play?
So very random number. Yeah.
And so that's part, which honestly, I kind of understand. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we grill the tour for, but you sign an agreement to be a member of the PGA Tour and you get all these benefits, which there are, especially for most of these guys, make a ton of money. And they, now they've got the, basically the $500,000 stipend for the people that are kind of at the bottom, that you're going to get at least $500 or $500,000 reimbursed, all that, and all the different stuff that comes with being a PGA Tour member. They market you. They've got the PIP. They've got all the different stuff now that what they want in return is like almost like for us at Barstool. It's like, no, if you're creating content, it's like you're creating content for Barstool Sports unless we approve something else.
But I do see the argument where if you're doing something outside of the scope of, say, the PGA Tour, that can then feed back into the larger picture of like people see you in a space where they wouldn't have seen you otherwise. And they're like, oh, where he plays on the PGA Tour? All right, maybe I'm going to watch him play on the PGA Tour. It's not going to work every time, but like you could do it where if you're doing something outside of the scope, it might feed fans back into the original product. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't think that's why I think they're doing it. I think a little bit of this is a fuck you to both sides. I think. From the players. I think, you saw Rory say, I think fans deserve to see the best players in the world more, play against each other more than 4 times a year. And he said he was frustrated by the lack of progress. And so I think what he's saying, and what Bryson, who's also, the live guys are obviously super pro unity, because then they get it both ways. They got their money and then they, can come back. So they've been on that, right? Like, we just want to bring everyone together. All we want to do is bring everyone together. And so I think these guys are like, why don't we just do it ourselves? Why don't we just give the fans something that they want, and screw these negotiations that are taking forever and that, seem to be just like lost in bureaucratic hell.
Yep.
4 of us, we have the juice. We don't necessarily need this. So
yeah, it definitely feeds back, and I think that's probably why they give them the waivers, throughout and whatever. So. I like the match. I like that it might be a little bit of a middle finger to the 2 different organizations. And like I said, that's got about as much juice as any of the matches since Tiger Phil thing. I think come on, baby. A little, I saw Bryson talking about it, maybe with the Rick Shields show a week or so ago, being like, we should really do a Ryder Cup that's basically PGA Tour versus Live, and with the merge and all that. All protein bars generally taste the same, but not these bad boys, Trent. Not the one bars.
Those things are different, as the kids say. Those things, they're delicious. You got the Reese's, you got the Hershey's cookies and cream. I eat pretty much one a day. It's sort of my in-between lunch and dinner little snack. Fills you up, tastes great. I really can't speak highly enough about these one bars. They are delicious.
They're absolutely delicious. Only one Reese's Peanut Butter Lovers Protein Bar is actually made with Reese's Peanut Butter. Only one Hershey's Cookie and Cream Protein Bar is made with Hershey's Cookie Bits. You're looking at it right here. 18 grams of protein, only 3 grams of sugar. One also has other delicious flavors like birthday cake, maple, glazed, donut, and blueberry cobbler. These things really are excellent. They're perfect for the golf course. Perfect snack, keep around your house. But yeah, throw a couple in the golf bag. Have one when you're cruising out there. 18 grams of protein, which is what you need. Only 3 grams of sugar. Try new one Reese's Peanut Butter Lovers Protein Bar and one Hershey's Cookies and Cream try them. The 1 bars really are delicious. Even if I was thinking about it, if they announced that they've come to a deal, whatever, that deal is probably not going to include, especially because the Live just released their first 4 events of next year, and the PGA Tour has already released its 2025 schedule, and neither one of them include the 2 leagues playing together. And so if they did announce a deal and a merger and came to an agreement, the lag time for that to actually materialize has got to be at least a couple of years where they could like merge events because everything's planned out. Sponsors are locked in. Venues are locked in. They've got tournament directors locked in. They've got hospitality tents going up. They've already like signed contractors to put those tents up. Like you can't fucking end it. And so maybe in the interim, as they geared up for that lag time, they could do like a Live Golf versus PGA Tour match or event, which would be fucking awesome.
A third like demilitarized league where both can just go while the process is taking place to get the 2 big ones. You create a third league where everybody can play. That's we're just creating leagues now. But
then that league goes rogue, and then they pit the other 2 leagues against each other, and then we have a whole nother process. No, but what you were saying, Riggs, about the schedule, another thing that I noticed, Live was like their whole thing in the beginning was like we're not gonna compete with like the big PGA Tour events. Like we're gonna create a schedule that's like on the off week. So if the PGA Tour would just relent, the guys could play both. It's no longer the case. So next year, their first 4 events. The first one is opposite Waste Management. The second one is opposite Riviera. The third one is opposite Bay Hill, and the fourth one is opposite the Players. So there's no more of that. There's no more of like you have certain dates and we have certain dates. They're doing it all around the world. They're going Riyadh, which is Saudi Arabia, Adelaide, Australia, Hong Kong, and Singapore are their first 4, while the PGA Tour's doing its West Coast and Florida swing.
In their defense, the PGA Tour is clearly not letting their players play. And so for them, it's like, yeah, we had said that because we clearly were coming at it at the beginning like we were friends. This is just a supplemental additive league that these guys can play, which is obviously not true, but that was what their messaging was that like, no, we're not encroaching upon any PGA Tour stuff. These guys can play on the PGA Tour. They can play on the DP World Tour. They can play on the Live Tour. Everybody's going to be happy. And now their defense could clearly be like, well, obviously the tour's not letting our guys play, so it doesn't matter when our events are because they're not going to be able to play in those fucking events anyways. But it is like, yeah, I mean, that wasn't an accident that they're doing that. Is the Adelaide one the one that's kind of electric in Australia?
Yeah, that's the one that's been with the watering hole and that's been their kind of flagship event. And they're doing that one opposite. A huge event. So you're right. And maybe this is it's something to sort of placate the fans a little bit. It's like, listen, I think everyone believes this is eventually going to happen. I don't, but it's just in the interim, like Trent was saying, like give us something, because watching Jay Monahan go up there and say nothing is not bringing any goodwill toward this whole process.
Especially if we're now going to get to a point where, because I think originally there was like all that, the strife was between the players where Patrick Reed was throwing tees at Rory McIlroy's feet, and that had some real juice, and it was like, whoa, these guys hate each other. And now if they're going to start playing events together, now the people that are having disagreements about it are just these nameless, faceless negotiators happening in back rooms that nobody can see, and that has a lot less juice. And now we're getting to the point where it's super lame, and it is bureaucratic, like you were talking about, Dan. And it's like, can we just get this done? Because the appeal of it, whatever it was originally, is gone, and now it's just these 2 bodies arguing behind closed doors. Which
you're right. There's no juice really in the battle anymore. Like if Liv signs someone, which I'm sure they will, someone big, it's just going to be like, oh, I need to get this done. That's just the takeaway with anything that happens now, right? It's like someone goes to Liv, we got to get this deal done. The PGA Tour has bad ratings, we got to get this deal done. Liv is not, doing well, we got to get this deal done. That's just the response to everything.
The fact that Rahm wasn't the piece, and I think Rahm thought he was going to be the piece, and it wasn't. And now, we're just in such a holding pattern that it's doing nothing but damaging the game.
Do we think Rahm feels left out of this? How do we think Rahm feels about this situation?
I don't know.
Rahm feels aggressively about every situation, I feel like. So it's hard to tell with him. But I I think he really does want there to. I mean, I think he wants what anybody would want in his situation. He wants to have made his $300 or $400 million and then still be able to play in the Players Championship. Like, I think that's pretty much what he wants. And I think that each week that goes by, he knows that it could potentially be adding another year to him not being able to do that. Because at this point, I mean, 2026 is the earliest that they could be playing together. So he's got another year of doing all that. It's basically 2 years out, year and a half out would be the earliest. And all the signs that we've heard, all the kind of stuff that has been said in press conferences. Rory was frustrated. Monahan said basically there's been no progress, or whatsoever. Had no progress to report. Greg Norman came out with all his stuff being like, oh no, we're moving ahead with Live Golf. We're very excited about this is the third full season and or fourth or whatever it is, the whole deal. They're announcing their schedule. Tour announced their schedule. So as of right now, there's like no progress. So I think Rahm's probably, I don't know that I think everybody likes to say he like regrets his decision, but he probably regrets that things haven't progressed more in the merger front. And it's crazy to think about. Like when we were going through this last year with Rahm a little over a year ago, or a little under a year ago, Rahm was like, everyone was very confused, being like, what do you mean Rahm's jumping ship to the same ship? It's like, didn't they announce that they merged in June, right? People are like, what does that mean? That they're like, why?
There were some people who said that he would never hit a single shot. There was some people who thought he would never hit a single shot like on Live because they would just merge right after that happened.
Right. And so all that was going on, and now here we are. Nothing's changed. So I know we've talked a ton about Live, and there's been no updates, but the news that they released their schedule, the first 4 events, the tours released their schedule, makes it pretty damn clear that we are at least, January 2026 at best away from the two, maybe fall of next year, but I really, really doubt that. So yeah,
I mean, they'd have to figure out like priority and where do those guys fit against the FedEx guys who have fit.
Get Alistair Doherty in there. They're all confused. They're all confused about priority. Just sneak that guy in there. Be like, wait, who finished second at Myrtle Beach again? He's in. Get him in there. That guy's a lock. But yeah, it's very confusing, and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere anytime soon. Speaking of, I know we mentioned DP World Tour earlier. Did you guys see, and Alex Bush is going to pull this clip up now. I want to play this clip on the show. Do you guys see this Niklas Nørgaard out of Denmark? He won on the DP World Tour over the weekend.
No, and he tried to blow it.
He had so to put the context, this is like coming down the stretch. I don't know exactly which hole this was, but he's got a pretty substantial lead, 3 or 4 strokes at this point. And then this was his interview after he won. This was great.
And then I made that show on 15. I thought, did I give it away there? But the thing is, I was not that nervous there. I'm just really bad at chipping, especially sometimes. But then important one was the one on 17, that putt there. And I tried not to think about it too much.
You can pause that. I was obsessed with that quote because that related to me a lot, where he's like, I really wasn't nervous. I'm just really bad at chipping. And I just, don't get me wrong, we've been nervous in a lot of positions for sure. But also that gets conflated a little bit to like, when we step up and hit a really bad shot in moments or on camera, it's like, no, I do that all the time. I'm bad at this game.
It is true. You can't like discern what is nerves and what's just lack of skill. Like you could say I'm nervous because I chunked that shot, but the fact of the matter is I can't hit that shot when if I'm the most relaxed person on planet Earth.
100%. And he just goes, I'll be honest, I'm not nervous. I'm just really bad at chipping. And then he goes, especially sometimes, is what he said.
I remember Victor Hovland had a quote like that a couple years ago where he's like, I'm just really bad at chipping. And it's like, you're Victor Hovland. You're winning golf tournaments. You're one of the best golfers in the world.
For people who didn't see the clip, he legitimately like duffed 3 trips in a row. Like he looked like a 25 handicap.
Yeah, and that it was on that clip. We couldn't see it that great, but it is. It's like he was like 10 feet off the green in some thick rough, and the pin was only like 10 feet on. So he's 20 or 30 feet away from the pin. And Trent, I mean, he hit a chip that went like 3 feet, and then he hit a chip that was like a mini shank skull miss that only went like a foot. And then he hit another horrific chip after that. And it was like 3 or 4 in a row. And it was like, oh my God, this guy's giving away the tournament. And then he did bounce back. He won the whole thing. And then, he's like, I wasn't that nervous. I'm just really bad at chipping. So
I think
love
that's
that.
when I'm at my worst mentally on a golf course, when I'm thinking about how in the game of golf, there's no end of a quarter. There's no end of the half. It's like if you say you have a 20-foot putt, the potential is there. If you wanted to, if you like just completely lost your mind, that putt could take you 500 strokes. You know what I mean? I mean, not that high, but like the number is endless. And when I think about that, I get really scared on a golf course.
Well, that was like when Scottie won his first Masters and he like 4-putted the last green. I remember he gave that look to Ted Scott, which was like, am I just never going to get this ball in the hole?
Right.
Like, how did I keep missing?
It's up to you. The game's not going to end until you end it.
You cannot run out the clock, and you have to do something that is incredibly hard to do. Like, you have to swing a club 170, 80 miles an hour and hit a ball 300 yards kind of straight, and then like keep doing that. And I think about that. Like, I remember the Stream Song video where we did the major, and I just had the driver yips coming back. And I remember like each hole I would hit one, and then like if we got through that hole, stand on the next tee, hit one out of play, and I'd be like, I could genuinely be on this tee forever. I was like, there's water up the left, there's giant dunes up the right, it's blowing, and I can't hit the ball. How many times is it going to take me to hit this ball in play? And it was like Garrett Clark at the event last week, the Crater Classic, when he's like, he made a 9, I think, on like the 12th hole, and he hit 2 out of bounds. He was just like, I just kept hitting it out of bounds. I really
that
wanted
Stream Song one was bad because it had like a clearance of one of the holes, second hole, third hole, had a clearance of like 210 yards. And boy, is that right on the line for your boy. And I just couldn't get it over there.
It's like, fuck, man. Like there's just no way out of it. And even if you do hit a good one, it's like, going to the next hole. You're like, I have to keep doing this. I have to keep, it'd be like, if you hit like a 3-run home run in the first inning or something, it's like, no, you still have to keep hitting home runs in order to get through this game. It's like, no, I already did the thing. Can't we just run this clock out or get enough outs to get out? It's like, nope, you just got to do it. And baseball is actually kind of similar too, where it's like, no, you actually have to retire the other team's side if there's no like bucket clock.
It was one of the things I really struggled with in junior golf was like the thought of like, I can spend 2.5 hours, 3 hours putting together this really good round, and then you have one horrendous hole and it's all gone. It's all gone. And the birdies that you made mean nothing anymore. Like you've ruined it.
I had that at Rain Dance with Breaking 90. I put together a great round through 14 holes. I was on pace to shoot like an 84 or something. And then I went quad double and it was pretty much over. I pulled it out, but you're right. You build up so much and then just a couple of mistakes and you're like, that round sucked despite playing well for 85% of it.
And there's nothing else you can do you can't do anything in like a 3-minute span to like get 6 shots back. You can only lose 6 shots in 3 minutes. You're just like at that point, you're like, true. Okay, well, I got another 2 hours that I got to hopefully play fucking perfect golf to build this thing.
That's why match play is great. Match play at least mitigates that a little bit, where it's like, dude, I can make a 9 in a hole, you can make a 4, and then I could make a birdie on the next hole. You make a solid par, and we just get through that stretch at even. That's what I need.
Yeah.
That's a little bit,
that is true.
That's sort of what we need out there. Get ready for game day with the latest addition to the Barstool Sports Rival Collection. Barstool College Shady Rays has partnered with Barstool Sports to bring you a new lineup of premium polarized shades that are perfect for showing off your team pride. My friend Trent Ryan has on some Shady Rays right now, and I got to say, you look like you are ready for anything, my friend.
Dude, I love these things. And when I put them on, people are like, that looks good. You look good in them. And that they're comfortable. They're great. They even come with this little, if people are watching on YouTube, they come with this little Shady Rays Barstool logo bag. Yeah, man, you need shades. Summer, you need shades. You see people out there squinting, giving themselves headaches. No.
Squinting's
go to Shady
birds.
Rays.
Squinting is for the birds. You can't have that.
It really is. It's something that you don't have to do. Just get a pair of Shady Rays and the squinting is gone. I don't think people realize how much of a headache the squinting will give you. If you're out there on the beach or if you're out there at a ball game or you're anywhere in the sun and you're squinting, you're just closing your eyes kind of as tight as you can. That's going to give you a headache. So if you want to alleviate all of that, get yourself a pair of Shady Rays. look as cool as I look, and have yourself a goddamn summer.
Shady Rays, baby. They're great for a tailgate. If you're going to a little tailgate this fall,
Yep.
which I imagine you should be, you probably will be. They're great for the golf course. They're great for everything. Maybe you're out on a boat, whatever it might be. This is what you're going to want. You're going to want Shady Rays. They deliver all-day comfort, top-notch performance. Shady Rays have great hassle-free returns and exchanges, so you can shop with confidence, elevate your game day look with the Barstool College Collection. Head over to shadyrays.com. Use the code FORE to get 35% off. 35% off polarized sunglasses. See for yourself why over 300,000 people have rated these shades 5 stars. That is shadyrays.com. 35% off with the code FORE. All right, and then last thing I had was just the ball girl incident. I know we kind of talked about it pre-show for a second, but one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. I sneaky love tennis. I love watching tennis. And I feel like every year there's something a little bit crazy that goes on. And it was this Yulia. I don't really know how to say her last name, but she just was so frustrated in this match. And then poor ball girl, who those people are heroic. They're absolutely heroic. You watch them at every event. They sprint out there. They're all class, right? It's never about them. It's all class. They sprint out there. They grab the ball. They know everything. Their form's perfect. Their execution's perfect. They know to go back to the right side or go across if it's all the way across. And then she's just trying to hand balls to this Yulia, and she's presenting the balls like to kind of like, I think you're supposed to present the ball. They pick which one kind of they want or which one looks better, is bouncing better, playing better. And then she like throws one at her, and the girl doesn't even make an effort. It just hits her. And she throws another one at her, and she doesn't even make an effort. And it just hits her, and she just kind of looks at her. The crowd starts like booing. And it was one of the most uncomfortable clips I've ever seen because the ball girls, ball people, tennis ball chasers are the best. They're in it for the game. They love it. And I thought that clip was really funny. It made me laugh. She ended up issuing an apology, which is about all you can do in that situation. But shout out to the U.S. Open. I know we like to talk about game time on this. Get some tickets, go to the U.S. Open. But yeah, that made me laugh.
U.S. Open is electric, dude. We got 2 Americans playing in the semi. We got a Tiafo, who's fucking box office. Taylor Fritz, who I've played golf with a couple times actually, really good dude. They're playing in the semis. So there's going to be an American man playing for the U.S. Open for the first time since 2006. It's great.
Right. When's the last time a U.S. male won the U.S. Open?
I believe it was Andy Roddick in 2003.
Jeez.
Wow. Yeah,
Is that right?
It's been a long time. It has not been a good couple decades for Americans on tennis on the men's side. So it's nice to see them breaking through.
It is nice to see. All right. I think that's all I got. I don't know if anybody else has anything else for this show.
I love you guys.
Anything pressing?
Thanks for listening.
I love you too, Dan.
It's been. I was talking to
Dan.
listeners, but I love you guys as well. But I was talking to listeners. I love the listeners. I love you guys too, but I really love the listeners. You guys are fucking awesome and epic. And thank
love
you
our
for
sponsors.
listening.
Do you love our sponsors too, Dan?
I love our sponsors.
Yep.
Love
That's
our
nice.
sponsors: TaylorMade, Peter Millar, Fireball Whiskey, Precision Pro, all the very special, fortunate people that we've been able to work with and make this possible. I'm just grateful. I'm just very grateful. It's been awesome, guys.
Been great.
It's nice to hear. It was a great run, Dan. I imagine now you'll be on this show as a guest from time to time, I would imagine. So people will probably hear
I would
from
love to. Anytime you guys need some golf guys, you can call me and I'll be here right away.
All right. Every Monday
can
and
do
Wednesday,
little-
we're going to give you a call.
I was just,
Wednesday,
All
just
right.
do it for free and
We're going to
good go.
record.
Post that
we're
phone
gonna
at
record
Monday,
11
Wednesday around
on
11
Monday,
a.m.
Dan, and
Eastern.
just, you want to jump in as a guest, that'd be awesome. We'd love to have that. Great run, Dan. Appreciate you. We'll see you at events and we'll be in touch, obviously. But it was a hell of a run. Thanks everybody for listening. Per usual, have a great weekend. Be safe. It's incredibly important now, even more important than ever. Just be safe, be smart, make good decisions, enjoy football, and we'll be back next week. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.